Welcome to the Militia gaming community. I'm Trigger Militia, and today's video we're going to find the best engine for this 1996 Mazda MX-5 and put it to the test on the track, the dirt, the drag strip, and the drift sections. Let's go! A couple days ago, the channel hit 12,000 subs. Thank you so much to everyone who has supported the channel. I really appreciate all the growth this channel is experiencing, and it's because of all of you guys. Everyone needs to go to the fridge right now and crack open an ice cold Barks. Hit me up on Instagram if you have any questions about this video or any video. I really do read every comment and every DM, so don't hesitate to send me a message. Okay, I'm sure that some of you are familiar with these build videos. If you are, you can skip to the 2-minute mark. But for the people who are not, here's how these videos go. I buy each engine for the car and test it on the day races Arian and Aardvark to find which one is the fastest. During the testing, I record the final race time and compare it to the other engines for that car. I only record a time if the race was super clean. I've raced over 400 times on these two courses, so I know them like the back of my hand. If I make a driving mistake, I restart the race and throw out that time. Consistency and accuracy are my two top priorities in doing this. After I find the fastest engine, I optimize it for each type of racing this game offers. So track, drag, drift, and dirt, giving you the 4 completely different builds to use for each type of racing in the game. I also have my personal top 20 for the 2 track courses so that we can compare the race times with the rest of the cars I've tested to see how each car stacks up in the grand scheme of things. The idea is to have some sort of foundation to rank the cars from fastest to slowest. Keep in mind, this is my personal top 20, and it does not represent these cars' fastest possible times on these tracks. There are people out there running super fast times using race shortcuts and different builds. The goal is to find the fastest engine for the car because that seems to be the biggest headache when building cars in this game. This Mazda MX-5 has 7 available engines. My goal is to find the fastest engine. So any engine that yields an overall car rating less than 400 plus gets completely omitted from the testing. There's no reason to test those engines. So with that said, only 2 out of the 7 engines were less than 400 plus when fully built. Out of the 5 that were left, the 440 horsepower 3.0 liter flat 6 ran the fastest time at Arian with 253.6, which is fast enough to make it into the top 20. It actually puts the MX-5 in 10th place with the 444 flat 6 and 19th place with the 404 horsepower 3.0 inline 6. Not too shabby at all, and honestly faster than most. I've also started keeping a list of the fastest cars according to their Arian and Aardvark times, and you're probably saying, how is that different from your top 20? Well, this list ranks them according to the fastest time recorded with each car, instead of my top 20, which ranks them according to all of the times with all of the engines. So this MX-5 is actually the 6th fastest car I've tested on Arian and Aardvark. Also, notice I retested the RSR and the Beetle because when I first tested these cars, I was not as familiar with the courses. I maybe had 20 to 30 races on each course, but now I have hundreds, and after experience like that, new lines open up, new ways to take corners start to form, and times get faster and faster. So as you can see, the updated fastest times are absolutely insane. But 6th place is actually really good for a cheap sleeper like this. As far as tires go, I tested both the race and the track tires, and I was running times that were within 1/10 of a second of each other. The car really didn't feel any different when racing, so I'm going to say the tire choice is really not that important. I think I'm going to stick with the track tires, but for really no reason at all. I really wish I could provide some more clarity on this, but it seems as though these tire options run basically the same times. So the track build looks like this: 444 horsepower 3.0 liter flat 6, Ultimate Plus engine parts, Ultimate dual turbo, Ultimate 3x5 NOS, Super Track suspension, Elite brakes, Elite track tires, Elite Plus clutch, Elite Plus 8-speed gearbox, and the Super Track differential. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with this little Mazda. It way exceeded my expectations, it handles pretty well, and it's decently fast on the straights, and it has secured 2 places in my top 20 fastest times. I'm gonna score it a 9 out of 10 for track racing. On to the drag strip. With the track setup mentioned just a moment ago, this MX-5 runs an 8.8 quarter mile, but by switching to drag tires and minimizing the downforce in the live tuning settings, I was able to shave that all the way down to 8.43. I swapped in all of the gearboxes, and the 7 and 8 speeds were the fastest. Also, with the drag tires setup, the 0 to 60 is only 1.77, but that can be better by switching to the 6 or the 7 speed gearbox at 1.73. Comparing this to the Volkswagen Beetle, which I believe is the benchmark for drag racing in this game, it's 0.2 of a second behind in the 0 to 60 and 1/10 of a second behind in the quarter mile. This is definitely one of the fastest drag cars in the game. If you add NOS to an already fast car, you get a rocket ship, and I think the MX-5 can win most drag races provided that you get off the line clean. So here's the full build. Again, 440 horsepower, 3.0 flat 6, Ultimate Plus engine parts, Ultimate dual turbo, Ultimate 1x15 pound NOS because the bigger bottle is better for a short quarter mile race, the Super Track suspension, Elite brakes, Elite drag tires, Elite Plus clutch, Elite 7-speed gearbox, Super Track differential, and make sure you set the downforce to the minimum. For the drag category, I rate it a 10 out of 10. Moving on to the drift sections. This car is an absolute monster in drifting. I played around with a couple of different setups, and the one that worked best for hitting super high scores was the Speed Cross suspension, drag tires, and drift differential. Check out this drift section I did right outside the racetrack. Notice about halfway through I hit the white truck and lose my multiplier, but I still managed to get a 60,000 point score. It's an absolute beast for scoring. Now I will say that I do not like the way the car transitions from slide to slide. I wish it was quicker to swing the back end, but once it's drifting, it racks up a ton of points. Also, it's not the most controllable car. It can be hard to avoid traffic sometimes, so if the line you want to take is cluttered, it can be hard to keep your multiplier. But when you do, you will score huge. I definitely recommend the MX-5 as a drift car, but make sure you set it up like this. 444 horsepower 3.0 flat 6 engine, Ultimate Plus engine parts, Ultimate dual turbo, Ultimate 5x3 pound NOS. Honestly, the NOS is not important in drifting, so it doesn't matter. Super Speed Cross suspension, Elite brakes, Elite drag tires, Elite Plus clutch, Elite 7-speed gearbox, Pro drift differential, downforce set to a minimum, and steering sensitivity cranked all the way up. Because of the poor transitions and control difficulties, I had to drop this to a 9 out of 10, but it scores big, so give it a try for yourself. Maybe you will find it a little easier. And the last category, the dirt. As always, to test this car in the dirt, I set it up rally style and then ran it through the HTV2 and Rumble races. To set it up, I swapped to the rally suspension, off-road tires, and rally diff. On HTV2, it ran a 150.7, which is the fastest time on that course by 1 second. HTV2 is a fairly short course, so a full second is actually quite a lot. On Rumble, which is one of the longer off-road courses, it ran a 313.2, which is nearly 3 full seconds in front of my previous fastest time. It's absolutely insane that this car is so fast in an off-road setting. It is now wearing the off-road crown out of the 8 cars that I've tested with a combined time of 503.9. Here's the full build list. Again, same engine and Ultimate Plus engine parts, Ultimate dual turbo, and 5x3 pound NOS. Super Rally suspension, Elite brakes, Elite off-road tires, Elite Plus clutch, Elite Plus 8-speed gearbox, and Super Rally differential. It is a 10 out of 10 for the off-road category for this MX-5. Alright, to sum this one up, the MX-5 is a surprisingly fast car in every aspect of the game. It is super adaptable, just like the STI hatch that I just tested, and I'm happy to recommend it for anything in the game so long as you set up the car properly. I'm curious to see if there are any other cars that are faster in the dirt than this one, especially considering there are cars in the game that are specifically designed for the dirt. That being said, its overall score is 38 out of 40, which is incredible for an inexpensive, regular street car. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Trigger out.